Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. Today we have another super special episode where we're interviewing another of our clients, the wonderful Mel, who rewired chronic fatigue, anxiety and depression and is now living her best life. 3 years ago, before Mel reached out to us, she experienced a huge crash in her energy, mental health, immunity, and gut during perimenopause. And this came after many years of pushing herself. So even before she got to perimenopause, she talks about already feeling quite burnt out, stressed, pushing, overriding her body's signals. And when perimenopause and postmenopause came along, she couldn't pretend or push anymore. Her body said no. And at her worst, she was hospitalised for severe anxiety and depression. And now, fast forward to today, she is living her best life, traveling, going on adventures, and deeply surrendering into being. So I'm really excited for you to hear Mel's beautiful story. It's been an absolute joy working with Mel inside our Ending Body Burnout Method. And these real life stories are super special. I call them evidence collecting, evidence that healing is possible. And the more that you can hear and see this, the more it becomes possible for you. So we are so incredibly grateful to the amazing Mel for coming on the show today to spread hope and healing with others. And if you really resonating with Mel's story and the work that she did inside our method to get the results that she now has, and you're seeking a deep, holistic root cause approach to your healing, now is your time. Doors are opening to our Ending Body Burnout Method on the 17th of June, which is next week at the time of this episode dropping. So if you're interested, go to the show notes and pop your name down on the wait list. The benefit of doing that is you will get early access 48 hours before the doors officially open. We only have limited spaces because our program does include one-on-one support, so we can only take so many clients in and serve them at a time. Also being on the wait list, and if you join up early, you do get over $500 worth of early bird bonuses. So just head on down and click that link. And if you are interested, but you're like, I'd still like to learn a bit more, we do have our free Rewire Your Brain to End Body Burnout coaching week happening next week as well. So we've got 4 workshops that take you through essentially our method to helping our clients rewire not just their brain but their whole self to end their body burnout. So please come along. It's going to be amazing. We've had thousands of people now come to these specific series, and the feedback of the people who come along to the Rewire Your Brain workshops is just so heartwarming. People are experiencing real shifts in the workshop, so you definitely want to be there. Okay, let's go into today's episode.
Welcome everybody to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. Today we are joined by our client Mel. Welcome Mel. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yay. We are so excited because you have had the most beautiful And I'd also say challenging healing journey. And I think we spoke ages ago around, I'm like, Mel, you'd be such a good person to have on our podcast to share your story. And I think back then you were like, not yet. But today is the day. And I think so many people will gain so much value and insight and inspiration from the work that you have done to essentially become your own self-healer. So thank you for being brave enough to come and share your story. Okay, so let's dive into prior to working with us inside the Ending Body Burnout Method, can you just explain how you were feeling, what symptoms you were struggling with, how it was affecting your life, what season of life you were in as well? Because I think that played a big part into the burnout and the mental health issues that really erupted.
Yeah, it did. I think for me, like the full-on menopause symptoms started around 3 years ago. And from there, I sort of tried mainstream medical. I tried naturopaths, supplements, diets, cutting out dairy, sugar, alcohol, caffeine, gluten, all the things. I tried hypnosis, NLP, counselling therapy. At one stage, I'd become so unwell I was hospitalised. I chose to be hospitalised for acute mental health treatment. Yet all of that, I was still not feeling myself. So in the end, I thought I need to do something. I can't live the rest of my life like this. There must be answers. There must be something or someone who can help me. So that's sort of where I was at. Yeah. And I was very unwell with fatigue and depression, anxiety, and just being overwhelmed and unmotivated. Like felt like I had mountains of stuff to do, but I couldn't do anything. Yeah. So it was, not the best place to be.
And is that how the perimenopause symptoms showed up for you as well? Because like a lot of women, especially if they haven't been in that space yet, it's kind of like hot flushes, night sweats, can't sleep at night. But it really it can either exacerbate pre-existing symptoms or it can show up in different ways that we don't classically think about as perimenopause, which also means you can fall in the cracks a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't until I've heard stories again and again now that women are speaking out about huge mental health challenges when menopause, in perimenopause, and more so that transition over to menopause. I had no idea that could happen because it hasn't happened to anyone around me. And I thought I'd got away with the menopause symptoms pretty well. I hadn't put on lots of weight. I wasn't having hot flushes like my friends. And then all of a sudden it was just like my world crumbled and the anxiety took over. And it started with hot flushes. So it was all very clear how that started. And I think feeling burnt out anyway from a busy life and then having that on top and having pre-existing health conditions, it really became a perfect storm of symptoms, and burnout was, full on.
Yes. When this drops, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes back, but we had Dr. Kerry in to talk about perimenopause, and she's like, far out, there's a massive connection between burnout, stress, and then like that foundation, that dysfunctional foundation, leading to perimenopausal symptoms just exploding, because you can go through perimenopause without having any major symptoms and then you stop your period and you're in postmenopause. And what not a lot of people do know is that perimenopause can last for 12 years. So that's over a decade of many years where if you are struggling with whether it's a flare-up or new health issues, and especially for women who might still be getting a regular cycle, to not, it can be hard to connect those dots together, that it's like actually you're transitioning into a different chapter in your woman life, and all the things that have happened prior to that, like the patterns and the programming and the burnout and the busyness and the stress, it does create that perfect storm. So I think the more that people are aware of that, then, you know, you can also think that I'm not just going crazy. It's not just all in my head. There's some real physiological stuff happening in my body that is exacerbating how I'm feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that is probably probably the realization I had down the track was that this is not just something in my head or a flaw in my personality or some sort of weakness. It's actually my physical body reacting to all the changes as well as the burnout. And yeah.
And we'll get into the metaphysical side of as well, because then it's also like, and then there's the neural pathways and the amygdala and the nervous system and the unconscious mind, and everything is interacting with each other. And so if there's stuff from the past, beliefs, patterns, programming, past events still stuck in the system that also haven't been addressed, rewired, then it's like constantly sending danger signals to the physiology, to the adrenals, the brain, the hormones, and symptoms of where people end up. So you mentioned you had tried a lot of things, and you got out of, so after, like, I guess being hospitalised, you moved out of that like deep survival despair into being able to function but still not feeling optimal, or still struggling with anxiety and depression and fatigue. Yeah. So what was the thing that made you say yes to working with us inside the Ending Body Burnout Method, especially after trying a bunch of things and still not being where you wanted to be, like still daily struggling with mental health, immune issues, fatigue?
From memory, I was thinking back, but I definitely discovered your book. That was where it started. And I read that. And then I started listening to your podcast, and the more I listened, the more I thought, I really need to do this. I really need to give this a go. I just felt that, this is it. And, so I'd done a lot of background and, with looking at what you do, listening to more and more podcasts. And in the end, I thought, I've got nothing to lose here. I've come this far. Let's just see what we can do. And my husband was on board as well, which was really good for him to be supportive and support me through the process as well.
It's always nice to have that support. I don't know if you remember, and maybe this was part of the presentation, of like that low mood, depression, low motivation, even though there was like things that you felt like you needed to do. But that very first consult, it's like you were obviously there because there was enough of a belief that it's like, I'm going to give this a crack and see what happens. But do you remember that there really wasn't a lot of conscious hope?
No, I was sort of, I think it was almost like I'd got to a point of being burnt out trying things.
Yes.
And I just had enough.
Yes.
And it's like, let's just do this and see what happens. And move on from going around in circles. I really felt like I was just going around in circles.
Yeah.
Or a bit like a rat on a wheel, I suppose. I'd get so far and then I'd realise I'd be back at the start again. I thought, I'm really not dealing with what's really, really deeply going on in my body.
Yeah. And there was just a part of you that was like, I think I can do it. I think I can lean in. I think I can get results.
Just that part that I guess didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
Not give up on life either.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a big part of yours too, which is really, I guess, the next question. So in our Ending Body Burnout Method, we have like the first step is answers. So getting clear on what body systems are burnt out, depleted, imbalanced, out of whack, overgrowing, so we can start supporting the physical body as we work on the deeper metaphysical root causes. And when you prepared for our first initial consult, you sent through all the things that you had done. It's like, I have got a gazillion lab tests that I've done, and not just GP or medical specialist tests. You'd already been seeing like several naturopaths, functional medicine type practitioners. So you'd done a lot of testing and you sent through all the protocols, and I'm like, I think I know why Mel is feeling a bit burnt out trying to get better, because like there's a lot of stuff. And so what were your thoughts around the lab testing? Because essentially like that first session with me, and then you were working one-on-one with Chris as well, but the first one with me was to look at, well, are there any missing pieces from a body systems level? Like, are there any body systems that we haven't yet tested for or you haven't done? And when I got all your data, I'm like, let's not do any more lab testing. Let's just focus on the information that we have, because there were some body systems that you hadn't quite addressed from a physical point of view. I guess, how did you feel around that? And also, are you happy to share what some of those imbalances were that showed up in your lab tests?
Yeah, look, it was funny, like when you said you didn't think we needed any more testing, there was part of me was like, oh, maybe we won't find that thing. But then there was another part like, oh, thank God I don't have to do any more. Like, there's just so much information, and I feel like I'm not getting where I want to go. So, and just knowing like that, yes, my adrenals were exhausted, my gut wasn't happy, probably SIBO and different things showing up, and it all pointed to burnout. But it was more, okay, if there's not one specific little thing that we have to deal with here, let's just overall look at things holistically. And that was the other thing that drew me to what you do, is that holistic approach that we're looking at from the mental, emotional and physical, so the metaphysical, all of it. I thought, well, if we're dealing with everything, all those systems, something will come out of that.
Yeah. So interesting. We interviewed another client who actually, her episode went live today, Nika, and she said a very similar thing. She's like, tried a bunch of stuff. I was super skeptical, but when I looked at like how robust and holistic the method is, I'm like, surely if we're throwing everything at it, it's going to work. And sometimes that can feel overwhelming for people as well. It's like holistic, everything, but also we're dealing with like many of our clients, and I think that you felt it when you first started working with us, you can't heal from body burnout in the way that you got to body burnout in the first place. So it's not kind of like, here's a gazillion things that you have to do all at once. It's like, let's stage this in a really thoughtful, personalized way that's going to work for you so that you can relax into it. You can trust the process, might even start feeling a little bit joyful or easeful along the way as well. And essentially, like, that is a massive component that allows someone to heal as we're working on all parts of you.
That was definitely good for me because, I was quite, as you know, burnt out and fragile when I started, and being able to pace that and know that I can just take little bites and feel my way through the process rather than having to go. Like, my first instinct, as with everything, was like, right, I'm going to get into this, I'm going to get it all done and da-da-da. But then I learned that, no, that doesn't work. Just take it a little bit at a time and deal with where you're at. Don't sort of put that aside thinking I need to get to the next step. That was a big learning for me.
And that pattern, like essentially is a trauma response pattern too, of like, if I do all the things really fast, then I will get the result. And if I don't, like if I slow down, if I just maybe surrender a little bit, I'm a bit messy, a bit organic, a bit imperfect, I'll never get there. And so it's like, it's constantly, I think for someone to be able to surrender into that, it's like there's enough intellectual knowledge that it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But also like your evidence starts building up as you start being different and you're healing different. And it's like, this is actually working for me. Even if it's micro initially or throughout the journey, there's still that build up of evidence that just allows the nervous system, the brain, unconscious mind to relax and settle into developing a healthy and loving relationship with self rather than trying to fix self.
That's the key, is learning how to be kind to myself. I was very good at being kind to other people, everything and everyone around me, but kindness for myself was not something I had ever done, really. Not at a deep level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this takes us to the next step. So I get curious around, okay, there's some body system imbalances. Things are like, there's definitely some things that are burnout. It's not just all in your head, but what led to the body systems burning out in the first place? What's the root cause underneath all of that goes beyond just some lifestyle habits, which is important for some people. But I think for you, your diet was already dialed in. You knew things about toxins and sleep hygiene and all that sort of stuff. So we really went that very level deeper into what we call the root cause. So when someone's working through the metaphysical side of things, the aim is to look at all the patterns and then get to a root belief that is driving everything. And a lot of that work you did with Chris in your one-on-one coaching sessions. Are you happy to share a bit about what that journey looked like for you, where you ended up at the root, what it felt like when you got there?
Yeah. It took a bit. And in the end, when I got to it, I thought, is that really it? Mm-hmm. And it came to being weak and unlovable, which came from early childhood. And I decided that's what I was. But every time Chris and I would catch up and I'd had some sort of glitch going on or not feeling great, my anxiety had shown up, we would work through what was going on, what I was thinking, what I was believing about myself, what I was telling myself. And it would always come back to that. It'd be like I'd get to the point and go, oh, of course, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
It's that. So knowing that and then reprogramming that and knowing that you have that deep belief about yourself, you can be more aware of why you're behaving the way you are or the patterns and habits you have, so you can consciously make changes and rewire.
Yes.
Yeah. And the more you practice that, the better you get, the more you can pick yourself up. Mm-hmm. And I think just an example recently was the day we were heading off for our holiday. We had to catch a flight from Brisbane and I had parking booked and everything. And what happened is the parking website redirected me unknowingly to a car park just away from the airport, and we ended up running late for our flight. And I had a little tanty. I got cranky and and in the end we got on the bus because we had to do a little bus shuttle over to the airport. And I got on the bus and I was just seething. And then it was like I had this moment like, what are you doing? This is not who you are. This is not who you want to be. And I just came back to the present, back to myself. And I actually apologized to myself for being so cranky and putting myself through that, and reframed, right, okay, we're going on this amazing adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it just changed to happy, even though I was still running to get to the baggage check-in. That was it. It just stopped. I didn't dwell on it like I used to.
Yes.
So that for me was a huge realisation that, yes, it is working.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
things are changing.
Yeah, because in the past that would have spiraled you, hey?
Oh,
in terms of it would just set the tone for the rest of the holiday.
Yeah, or at least the part of it. It could have then, before we met up, so we were meeting up with other friends at the airport. My mood was fine by the time we met them, so it didn't affect them either.
Yeah.
So we were all happy and excited.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Can you paint a bit of a picture too in terms of how Weak and Unlovable was affecting or causing the fatigue, the anxiety, depression?
Yeah. I think it goes back to a lifetime of proving that I'm strong, proving that I'm worthy by doing things and performing and seeking approval by being tough. And, I can do it, soldier through, not giving myself the care. And when I say care, I mean just that simple kindness to self, the way I speak to myself. I could go and have a massage or a manicure or my hair done, and, yeah, that's nice. But it's how you speak to yourself every day that matters.
Yeah.
And that little voice pushed me and pushed me. I would push through illness. I'd push through whatever I had to push through to survive, to prove that I could do it. And before my second marriage, I was a single mum for 8 years with one son, and I worked full-time through that. And again, it was very much proving to everyone that I could do it. I'll be right.
Yeah.
And all of that wears at you over time. And for me, I could keep doing that and keep that pretense up until I think the menopausal symptoms came in.
Yeah.
And that was the wall. That's where I hit the wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not going any further.
Yeah. It's like hormones dropping. Everything gets unmasked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I imagine that it was like super frustrating at the time, but in hindsight now, do you have some love and gratitude for that?
I do. It's taught me a lot about myself. My husband and I we were close anyway, but it's really improved our relationship with that emotional connection and closeness as well.
Yeah.
I think in general, I'm just a better person towards myself first and a lot calmer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And to change the way I talk to myself, the way I behave, the things that I do and how I do things will then ultimately prevent me going down that rabbit hole of burnout again if something happens.
Yes, and that's the ending. Like, I love words. An ending, when we were trying to decide, like, what do we call this program? Ending Body Burnout. I was really passionate about that because I'd been a practitioner in the past that kind of, like, I thought I was giving root cause medicine, but it was kind of more Band-Aid in a natural disguise, essentially, because I just kept seeing clients coming back, especially around COVID time, where it's like, what? I thought you were healed. I thought you were better. And they're like, I don't know why these symptoms are back. But when you can have that deep understanding around who you are, how you work, the patterns, and you've actively worked to change them and rewire them, then the symptoms don't have to keep coming back to get your attention because you're being different. And And like that's as simple and as hard as it is. Hard because it can be hard to rewire, but it is also a very simple process, and it can become easier when you really surrender into that and trust that you can change.
Yeah.
So what did it look like for you to rewire the deep belief and to start switching off symptoms? Like, were there any specific practices or coaching sessions or frameworks that really helped you?
I think really for me, I can't, like, there are quite a few different things Chris and I worked through together. Of course, using affirmations and helping myself, rewiring my beliefs that way, but then putting that into practice. And I think for me, because I've had the weekly appointments with Chris to catch up and have coaching, that has allowed me to, I guess, fall down and get back up, because we can talk about what's happening and look at, well, what are you doing at the moment? What's happening? How can we reframe that? Let's look at how you really want to be. What are you doing as opposed to being? The big one for me is to be present and to actually just be. That's probably the biggest learning for me. And everything seems to come back to that.
Yeah.
If I can just be, then I can do what I want and have what I want. And again, our holiday just recently, like pulling myself up at the beginning and just being, and then doing what I wanted to do, and behaving the way I would have liked, which was to be happy and excited and someone fun to be around, rather than the cranky person who just had an issue with a car park. And that all led to doing really fun stuff and having fun and joy.
Yes.
For 2 weeks of our holiday. So, yeah, I can't say there's a specific. For me, it's more about, yes, knowing the root cause, having your affirmations, reprogramming the neural pathways, and then using the different tools you guys have online within the program to build my life the way I want it to be from here on in, and how I want to be, how I want to play the game of life. Yeah.
I love it so much. How does it feel now, Mel, in your nervous system? You know, like you've just gone on a significant trip. We talked about Japan and past attempts to go over there as well. You know, like we talked about things like this. But how's your nervous system feel now? Like you've just done something significant. How are you feeling in yourself now?
I feel really good. Yeah, and as you mentioned, like, yes, I've had a couple of overseas trips where I've struggled with anxiety. I've come back feeling really drained and anxious. Not this time at all. I just felt, oh, Mel's back. She's here. The real Mel. And
so good.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling great this time. I was sort of there's that little bit of me like, what's going to happen when I come home and we're away from all the fun? But no, I've sort of slotted back in, and as best you can when you come back from a fun holiday. Yeah, but I think that whole buzz of the holiday and the warmth and friendships that have come out of it as well is something that will stay.
So good.
So, yeah.
How do you imagine life being different in the future with this new way of being for yourself?
Yeah. I see it as being open to more experiences. I mean, in the stage of life I'm at, it's more about experiences for me. Like, kids have grown up, they're all independent, and we're sort of preparing for retirement. So for me, I think I want to be strong and healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, so I can enjoy that and really get out there and live. I don't want to sit in a retirement home wasting away. That's not what I see for the future. So, yeah, so I see now, I see that I can physically, and my nervous system can handle also going on adventures and doing fun things, whereas before I felt like I wasn't strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
So I just would avoid it, or I'd shrink back, and I'd be very reliant on Dirk for support, whereas now I feel much more confident in myself to take on whatever opportunities come up. And I think that's really it, is having the ability to take up opportunities when they arise as well.
Amazing. That's so cool. And so you're probably thinking, actually, I'm thinking, what's next for you? What can you see as the next thing on the cards for Mel and Dirk?
Well, we do have. There'll be more fun trips for sure. We do have a little. It will be exciting. We're looking at developing a block of land and building units and renovating a house that's already on there. So as scary as that is, it's also exciting because I can be a bit creative with that, with colours and design and different things along the way. So that's going to be a big undertaking for us, a big project over the next few years, aside from sort of we'll be working ourselves out of our business so the other guys underneath can take over as well. So that will open up more free time for us to do things. So, yeah, I see many more adventures and fun activities. Amazing. Rather than just working and slogging away. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's epic. I think
love that.
You and I, in some of our early coaching calls, we were talking about just this. I can't remember the exact words that we used, or you used, sorry, but it was like, what if this happens, and what if this goes on, and what if that, and what if this, and it was almost like there was an early on paralysis, but now here you are, you're like, it's like the floodgates are open. You can dream, you can imagine, you can do whatever the heck you want, really. You can design the new renovations and all this sort of stuff. You can go to Japan. You can have fun with your husband and with yourself. It's pretty cool. I love it. Love this for you.
Definitely.
So awesome. Were there any, I'm sure there were some challenges. Everyone has challenges. But as you were working through the Ending Body Burnout Method and rewiring, whether that was physically, metaphysically, did you come up against any major challenges, and how did you work through those?
Yeah, it became a bit of a pattern. Like, at times I would be going really well for a while, and it was like as soon as I got to a certain level of thinking I'm progressing, the anxiety would hit me, and I'd think, wow, what's going on? Why has this come back? It's not working. And that was always tricky. But either I'd talk to you or Chris, and he'd be like, wow, that's great.
You're like, no, it's not.
What? So, and in the end, like we'd talk through whatever was going on, and we'd get past the anxiety and deal with that. But in the end, I realised, okay, these little pressure tests come along. Yes, life isn't perfect all the time, so things come along that trigger you. It's about realising, I guess, being aware of that and dealing with them. But I realised that after each one I come out the other side and I think, oh, I feel even stronger than before.
Yes.
And that sort of kept happening along the way. So there was simply, I don't know how else to say it. It was like maybe my subconscious reorganising itself and finding its way and going, wow, this is unfamiliar, so I'm going to freak out now. And then,
100%. I actually had a conversation with a newer client and she was having some breakthroughs, and then all of a sudden it was just like very overwhelming, debilitating anxiety and physical health issues came raging back. And so sometimes you can have a little bit of a yo-yo experience where it's like broken through some big stuff. It's like, wow, I feel so different. This is amazing. But, those old neural pathways are pretty strong. So sometimes you can kind of rebound back to them. If you allow yourself to feed into them, that's where people get stuck. And, that's where people feel like, oh, I've gone back to square one. But actually when you can see it from a macro lens of healing, that it's actually a sign of progress. And there were some real things too. Like there was every time the anxiety came back with vengeance, and it was kind of like a monthly cycle for 3 or so months, I think. There was usually something that we could find underneath the surface where you had broken rapport, where you started like feeding old beliefs or patterns. And when you could identify that, and I think the effective apology was really powerful for you. Like it's just like, this is what I did. Yeah. This is why I did it. Show some compassion, some love. What's a believable plan? It's unlikely that it's going to happen again. So that when I come through this, I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to have the tools. I'm going to know what to do next time. Over time, those blips or pressure tests where the anxiety came ranging back, they just were getting less and less in intensity, but also in duration. And I do remember the first time it happened, or maybe the second time, I'm like, this is great, Mel. And you're like, no, it's not. It's horrible. And I'm like, no. This is a sign of progress. And when you move through this, you're just strengthening up those new neural pathways, and it's going to become the new normal on the other side, the new normal.
I was a bit skeptical to start with. I'm like, okay. But it definitely, like, looking back, I've in the last 6 months, so much has changed. And I think when I came back from Japan in January from a ski holiday and I was physically unwell, the anxiety came back big time.
Like you had a cold or flu,
then I realised I'd most probably had COVID because I lost my sense of taste completely for about 3 weeks. Once I realised that, okay, this is a physical thing and you need to rest, because I was feeling anxious. So it was just so hard to get out of bed. I was so fatigued. And once I let myself heal in the time it needed, it took 3 weeks, I was okay. And that was the difference for me than before would have been, you have to get up, you have to get out of bed. This is happening. You can't stay in bed because you're going to fall back into a hole. And I think that was really the last big one where I realised that the anxiety is not always a bad thing. Just my body saying, you're really, really tired and unwell. You need to rest so you can get better.
Yes, it's like a loving signal essentially. It's like, no, Mel. Yeah. We know you listen to the anxiety, so here you go. Another piece of learning for you. Rest. Yeah. You've got COVID. And I think I remember we had a conversation around that time. I think you were actually in the flu. And this is really helpful for me, so it might be helpful for a listener as well, that when I realised that being whole and healed and well doesn't mean that you never have a sensation or you never get sick. Like, we're going to get sick sometimes. We might even break a bone sometimes. Like, there's acute sensations that will show up. And I think that that was an important learning for you as well, because you were attaching the fatigue from the sickness as like, it's like, oh, I'm back here again. And like, what if I can't get out this time? Like, maybe like previously it was just a fluke. And so it's like, no. When we can just surrender into the fact that human beings catch a flu sometimes, and that we give our bodies what it needs in that moment, then like, not only do you recover from the acute illness quickly, but it doesn't lead to like this spiral of health anxiety essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that was awesome. What do you feel was different about our Ending Body Burnout method?
The difference with this is it covers all bases. So we can, if there is something seriously wrong physically, we can pull that out with testing and whatever, and use whatever protocols need to be done to help that. But at the same time, you're also working on your metaphysical state, your mental health and your emotional health. So the two work together, because if you're really, body and mind are really stressed, you're not going to heal doing protocols, as I found.
Yes.
So to me, the difference is all of it's integrated together, and you can pace yourself to work through it. You've got, within this program, you've got all the support you need, all the tools you need to use as you need. So I think that is different. I know I've done sort of different things where you do a certain amount of days or appointments and that's it, and you're done. And it's like, well, that hasn't worked for me. Focusing on the physical alone definitely doesn't work. The two are so, physical and mental and emotional are so all closely linked together that you really need to deal with all areas to be able to get to the bottom of it if you have had trouble getting well.
Yeah. So interconnected. And I think this is, something that I'm really passionate about with how we practice natural medicine as well, because people end up in natural medicine often because they've hit a roadblock with GPs or medical specialists. And essentially it's like we kind of poo-poo on. It's like, it's because it's a reductionist approach. You go to a gastroenterologist, they only look at the gut, but they're not looking at how that's interacting with the brain, or a psychologist, but that's not looking at how it's interacting with, I don't know, some other body system. But then in natural medicine as well, there's a lot of things that also give you a reductionist approach where it's like, this is the thing that's going to solve all the things, and this is the most important thing, when it's like, hang on, like the whole of us is constantly communicating with all parts of us. So let's bring everything together. And I'm just constantly at awe at how the physical body communicates to us, but essentially it's via the unconscious mind, nervous system and brain. Like that alone too is a lot of evidence that the two are so like interconnected and are constantly playing out with each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So last question. If anyone has been listening to this and they're feeling like they're stuck in body burnout, struggling to get well, maybe they've tried a bunch of stuff as well and feeling a bit hopeless or stuck, what would be some words of wisdom that you could share with them?
I would say definitely give this Ending Body Burnout program a go. Go in there with an open mind and relax into it. probably the biggest thing I'd say in general, if you're struggling with health like that, it affects every part of your life. So the kindest thing you can do is invest in yourself and really get to the bottom of your health issues so you can move past it. Because it's definitely worth it. And knowing how sick I was 3 years ago to how I am now, it's sort of hard to believe, to be honest. So, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
And it's definitely worth the effort.
Yeah. You are the evidence that healing is possible.
It is.
This is a bit segue, but I was just looking at PubMed, as sometimes I randomly do, but I was just like spontaneous healing. And I was actually surprised at how many research studies came up around chronic illnesses, even like terminal illnesses, and researchers kind of like really looking into what's the common theme behind the people who have these like what look like their miraculous healing experiences, spontaneous healing. The very top one was just a belief that you could be well. A belief that, you know, even if you are feeling stuck and struggling, I think it's going right back to the start of the conversation. It's like, yes, there was a part that was burnt out from trying to heal, but there was also a very burning part of you that's just like, I can't stay like this any longer. I choose not to. And I believe enough that I can be well, and I'm just going to find something that aligns with what I need and go all in, which is really what you did beautifully. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on, Mel. It's been so nice chatting to you outside of a coaching conversation, just to reflect and enjoy you, celebrate you. So it's been really lovely. Thank you so much for jumping on and chatting to Philly and I.
Yeah.
No problem.
And spreading hope and healing.
That's it. Exactly.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and we look forward to chatting to you again.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.